Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining us today for an open box video. Oldpueblocoin.com, TucsonCoinShow.com. Don't forget, we have a lovely, lovely coin show in January. Come and visit us sometime. This episode, we do have an open box video for you where we will be recycling quite a bit of plastic as we did a little bit of cracking accidentally. Maybe it fell on the floor from a high surface, high area. And just a friendly reminder, do not try this at home. If you like graded coins, buy graded coins. Don't do crack, boys and girls. Let's have some fun here. 1883, San Francisco Mint, and today for this open box, we'll just kind of go a little bit of guess the grade. You guys take a look and see. I will lead the jury, as always, with what we're looking at here. San Francisco mints, once you get into 83 and on, become difficult to get in uncirculated conditions, especially this particular coin you can see has a lot of breaks in the luster throughout, slight signs of wear. So we're going to go into those AU grades here, and we do have an AU 55, a coin that is, probably a $350 to $375 coin-ish in the marketplace as we go. All right, let's go on from there. So mostly what we did here, guys, for those of you keeping score at home, was economy service. Saved up some dollars that were just kind of things that had just enough meat on the bones to where we feel like we could send them in and do something with them. And of course, as always, to entertain and hopefully give a little bit of knowledge on the way. 1890 Philly. This one's a little bit trickier, as this guy looks like a very, very nice high-grade coin. And we would hope for it to be a very nice grade coin, but as always, you really got to get a lot of different angles to catch everything. And so that's the grader's job, is to catch everything. Now, until I got to this angle here, you couldn't see what we're about to look at. So if you look at the area on the very front, like her chin up to her nose, you're going to see some lines moving from her chin to her nose. Those lines are a little bit more of a scrape mark, so they're a little bit rough, a little bit heavy. But you can see how at most angles, and this is why you got to be careful when you buy stuff raw, it's not as noticeable. And now that you know it's there, you might see it. But really, really, it's all about getting the right angle where you can say, hey, there's a scrape on the coin. So this coin went from something that might have graded, there they are, might have graded like a 64 down to a 62. And an 1890 in 64 is a pretty nice coin. In 62, it's pretty inexpensive. All right, next up, 1891. I have two of these VAM2 double die ears. We're going to see if we can take a look and find the double die ear here on these guys. We'll see how obvious it is. At least they give us a description that we can understand. And what's great about this is that is alien-esque. Look at those earlobes right there. That is. I almost said that's 4 earlobes, but of course that would be 2 earlobes. I'm assuming the other side has multiple earlobes as well. And this coin is a very nice piece that we want to have come back a very nice grade. And it came back unk details cleaned, so boo hiss moan. I think this coin jumps a little bit in the uncirculated grades. And here we go with a coin that has a little bit nicer looking luster, but also is an AU 58 on this guy. So there's the double ear. It has a lot of the little bit of crustiness inside of there, which is, I think, pretty lovely actually. Some people like that darkness, other people not so much. I'm a little bit intrigued that this one is not called cleaned, but this one is. Because, this one looks like it was once dark, but now is light, was lost, but now is found. And the one here on the left now doesn't really have those detailed signs of cleaning that you would normally see on a coin. I guess next up, I'm always kind of trying with some of these guys here to get that grade that we're hoping for. And quite a few of them actually panned out this time. This 1896. Once again, common date Morgan dollars, you need a coin that's either going to go proof-like or, MS64 plus or 65, usually to really make it worth grading, because you're going to spend 20, 25, 30 bucks plus shipping and handling and stuff like that. So this one had a really sweet looking, like not iridescent, but just a really nice reflective reverse on it. The obverse was not quite as, but it's got some pretty powerful fields there in general. And we got the 64 PL on it, which is a nice grade. I think that's kind of what we were shooting for. Of course, 65 would be nicer, but we did get the PL. Now I can send it off to CAC and not get it stickered. All right, that guy is, I think, and 64 PL is a $250 coin if I looked at my notes properly on that. Amongst the New Orleans mints that come pretty nice, 1899 O, 1900 O. Some of those O mints come kind of nice. So we've got this 99 O mint here with a nice original surface quality. So we're going to look at coins that I felt were common dates but were high enough grade to possibly get to that 65 route, 65 grade. This 99O did not. And then next up we had an 1900O. Getting ahead of myself. With just a very, very nice original surface to it. A little bit more chatter on the reverse on this coin, but the obverse was a little bit more pleasing, I think, than the previous coin, and this one did get a 65. So not too bad as we're going through these common dates here. This coin is radical, like intergalactic planetary. It's just a wild coin, because as you see, now you see me, now you don't. The reverse is very much so white. It has a little spot at the top, and the obverse is iridescent, many colors. Interestingly enough, this coin is a 65 also. The value of this coin is probably based more on the color, and for me, being honest, I would not call this coin a 5. I would have called it a 4, but that's because of this scrape mark in front of her chin. Should have probably got it down a grade. I mean, I guess you can argue that if that's the only really distracting mark, then perhaps it is already being neck rated. But lots of these little lines that you see everywhere are not in the metal, that's in the toning, and that can be really confusing on a toned coin to look and see the difference between lines that are on the coin and lines that are in the toning. So the lines that are on the coin are going to be that mark, especially in front of the face there, and there's actually a few other lines that go kind of north and south right here in front of the nose, between the nose and the stars. There's some more lines that go that are definitely contact marks. So that's a wild coin. That guy is probably going to hit the auction block just because it is a glitter bomb. Next up, an 040. This is kind of a wild coin because once again you have that really beautiful surface. You can see that they called this obverse cleaned, so they're being very specific about the cleaning. Undoubtedly there are some hairlines or something on here that I didn't notice when I sent the coin in. Oftentimes, you talk about diligence and taking a lot of time when it comes to grading coins, and oftentimes I take a quick look at something and go, oh man, I like that, and I send it in. I think what we're seeing actually up here, I love this field though. Love that field one that's got that look to it. But I think up in here, up in this area by the bus, I take the short bus, but I think there's some hairlines right under there that maybe they're talking about. But it's got a very original look, so once again, maybe I didn't get those on film exactly right, but real pretty coin that did not quite make the grade. Next up, this is a coin that I'm so proud of. I am so proud of this coin. I'm proud of this coin. I'm proud of NGC. I love you guys. Look at this. This coin, 1921. 1921 Morgans are just a different kind of cat. I mean, they just look different than the rest of the coins. They're completely re-engraved dies. They are different. And high-grade 21 Morgans have a very certain look to them. And this is a coin that has that look to it. And also, this is a coin that has some toning that I thought that they might give it 2 demerits for. Like, I wasn't really sure what they were going to do with this coin. But MS65, I like it. I think it's a good coin. I think it's got a good grade to it. And just really happy. There's just certain things that I send in. Like this coin is kind of like the opposite of this coin, where this coin is like at a glance, hey baby, how you doing? And you like it. And then this coin, you're like, You are so technically beautiful, you better get the right grade. Don't mess me over kind of coin. That's a little bit different vibe from one coin to the next. And for those of you who don't talk to your coins, it's like a basketball player who doesn't talk to the ball after he takes a shot. I just don't know what to do with that. Or maybe a golfer. I gotta get those out of the way to make more room for more mistakes, errors, and possibly really good decisions. We got a few more coins to look at, and then we're going to go ahead and get to those crackouts and talk about those and have some fun. So I had two 1921s that I thought were a nice enough grade that we could send them in and see how they come back. And these guys are both in the same similar kind of ballpark grade-wise as you look at them. We're going to go ahead and see if you can tell the difference on these two. Just a hair more luster on the one on the left. And if you look at the eagle's feathers, look at the eagle's feathers. Now look at the eagle feathers here. Now, of course, you can be missing some stuff for strike, which I think we are on these two coins. 21s have that flat spot over the ear and the hair that goes over the ear and the flat spot on the eagle, right? But still, we've got a 58 and a 55. So those came back, I think, nice grades overall. Kind of a nice collector grade. Current market, good question. 250 and 350 range, I think, on those. They've been up, they've been down. They've been all around on the peace dollars, the 21 peace dollars. Of course, that COVID push was really high, and I think things are settled back down a little bit. Next up, we've got an 1877 trade dollar, another coin that I thought this is a nice, just kind of evenly toned original coin. It'd be good to get this in a holder, just for someone to love for a long period of time, right? We want to have it preserved for someone to own it and enjoy it. VF detail scratches. You know, I'm not mad at this grade. I'll show you, I know exactly what they're talking about on this coin. You know, when it comes to some of these lines that are heavier on a coin, it is a judgment call. I hear football guys say, well, you know, they could call holding every time at the line, but it's a judgment call. And, you know, I don't know football, so it's a terrible analogy for me to use. But the general concept here, though, is, you know, you can have a lot of contact marks on a well-worn coin. They can be heavy, they can be deep, but there's a certain point at which they are too heavy or too deep, and you will find out the hard way when you send them in to get certified. All right, next up we have a coin that is fascinating because this is a FS 511, 1938, D over D over D over S. Did I stutter? Let's check this coin out. I'm going 20 power here. I'm not going to get a good shot. Maybe the engineer will put on his microscope and a still shot over the D, over the D, over the D, over the S. And I feel like I'm right in the middle of a Beastie Boys song when I'm doing that. It's just fantastic. And what's not fantastic is the fact that there are some hairlines running across my Native American friend's chin, and I'm not getting a good shot of that because I switched to my 20 power. And these guys called it Unk Details Cleaned. And it's a sad, sad day. Sad, sad day. All right, next up a 1919S that I bought for, I think I paid 75 or 80 bucks. This was a raw coin that I bought. I thought this is cool. I like the date. I have seen a lot of Lincoln Cents and NGC holders lately that have this exact same tone and texture. And so I decided to go ahead and buy it and send it in and get it certified so that they could tell me that it is altered color. Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. Step on in here. You can cry in your beer with me, but we're done with the segment of our show where we show stuff that we just sent in that was already all raw. And now we're ready to move on to Wanna Krakatoa. We're going to crack some coins out here. And we had mostly Morgans. I'm going to start with the non-Morgans, and then we'll go into the Morgans. So these were a couple of coins I had picked up from dealers. You know, this coin here was in this 1938 was in a PCGS 64 holder. The jump on that goes from like 180 to almost 300, so like $200 to $300 from a 64 to a 65. I thought it was really a nice coin, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give this coin a crack-a-rooney and see if we can't get it in a 65 grade. And ask and ye shall not receive, MS64 from a 4 to a 4. So that's not positive right there. Positively wrong. Maybe that's a better way of looking at it. Next up, this 1911. So this was in an ICG MS64 holder. You'll find out that I don't buy too many ICG graded coins. Certainly not at market value. Mostly I find them to not be graded accurately. Usually they are overgraded. But this 1911 I thought was really, really a lovely coin, and I still think it's a very, very lovely coin. And it's the type of thing that I thought we could go from a 4 to an upgrade, and we went from a 4 to a 4. So that was a lateral movement, but also in a little bit more of a saleable holder. Well, I still like the coin. It's a little bit more saleable in that holder. All right, next up, what did we get into here? So most of these are, I just have the labels left because we had a large group of off-brand stuff. So here's a 21 that was graded 65. Here's an 040 that was graded 66 dimple by NNC. Hoy, okay, the jury. Here's an 89, NNC graded 67. PCI gold label graded 65. PCI gold label graded 65, and a regular PCI label graded 65. So we're having fun. Let's start over here with our friends over at NNC. This is also a company, if you see coins in these holders, generally speaking, I don't recommend that you purchase them at the labeled marked price, right? So this guy, though, I thought this was a pretty nice coin. I actually have another group of coins out that is a ton of stuff that was just in generic holders like these that I was like, I'm just going to take all these suckers and send them in. So they're all over the place. This one, I did pick out coins that I thought were a little bit nicer. So this coin went from a 7 to a 4. Now, mind you, I would never buy one of these coins in this holder, this brand. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Next up, we had the 040 that was in a 66 dimple holder. Well, this is kind of fun because the coin I felt like was pretty much deserving of a PL designation. I was like, this is cool, so this will come back. I thought this coin would come back a 4 PL. That was my prediction on this guy. He's got a number of marks around him. Of course, the PL brings out the marks. Just felt like there's a lot of little chatter going on. So it goes from a 66 dimple to a 65. Fascinating grade for me because, like I said, I think I would grade this a 64 PL. And, now the obverse is more PL than the reverse, so I can understand if the reverse is too lustrous for you, not PL enough. But that's it. That was it. All right, next up, this 1896 in a 65 PCI holder. Here's another coin that's fascinating because this coin also has kind of like that mirrored finish to the obverse, kind of glowing, but I think and the reverse also has a really kind of nice look to it. Got some marks there, a little bit of some chicken scratch. So this coin goes from a 5 to a 3. Now this one I was also intrigued by because I think that if I had to just grade this coin outright, I think also it's a coin that I think I wouldn't mind calling like a 4 PL. I feel like they were a little bit too hard on this coin no matter what. I feel like coin's better quality than just a 3, and it's a pretty cool coin. All right, 1896 in a 65 holder. Here we go. We got another high grade Morgan dollar with really big clean fields to it. Really nicely done, and 65 to 65. So PCI does have a lot of coins out there. Now don't just go run around buying PCI holders, guys, but I'm just saying I've always kind of said that this PCI has some pretty decent coins and holders, and especially this gold label series. When we were sending, there was a time when I remember we would send, this would have been probably the late 90s, we sent a bunch of coins off to PCI to get graded when they were running some grading special, and we were really pleased overall with how the coins graded. We thought it was accurate. They were saleable. They sold nicely. So, and this guy here, 65, 65. So nicely done on a couple of those old PCI holders. And this is, so the green labels I think were before the gold labels. And earlier I had another 1921 that was graded 65. And this guy here we'll take another look at. Has really that big, beautiful open field, a couple of little bit heavier marks there. A little bit off here to the side and the right. But overall very pleasing coin. And we went from a 65 to a 65. So pretty successful all around. Now, these are coins that I always would have been happy if you can just even cross over. Now, this is not typical of a lot of coins that we see. You know, I will say that it is typical that you'll see coins graded in these holders and they'll be off by 2, 3, 4 points. Your PCI holders, you saw 3 of them matched identically. So in theory, if we had sent them over for crossover, they would have crossed. And the one was kind of a big womp womp. But anyways, all in all, it was kind of a fun group of coins to experiment with. We'll have more of that stuff coming down the pipe here eventually. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.